Welcome to the Home Fellowship Podcast. We are a place where the students of Belfast can gather together and encounter Jesus, and then go live a life like him. We hope you enjoy today's podcast. Feel free to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for our upcoming events.
Okay, so welcome to our fourth ever Home Fellowship podcast. We're joined today with Ewan. Ewan, thank you so much.
Not at all, Calvin.
For being here today.
Great to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Appreciate it. No problem at all. Ewan is going to come and speak at our event on the 20th of November on the idea of surrendering money. So money's a funny topic in the church. Maybe not
funny money.
Yeah. Maybe not talked about as much, but Ewan, thank you so much for today and thank you for coming down. So again, 20th November, 8:30, if you want to come down here, Ewan. Ewan, we always ask a question at the start.
Sure.
When you were a student, did you have... Weird question. Did you have a key dish, a key meal that you would whip up as a student, or?
Good question. I think whipping up would be a little bit of an exaggeration. Mm-hmm. It was like a frozen, like pancake thing with savoury inside it. Oh. It's disgusting. Okay. It was Findus savoury pancakes, I think is what they're called. Okay. So you used to get them, used to bung them in the oven, 20 minutes later, out it came. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Nice one.
That was the extent of my culinary skills at that point.
Is that a Scottish thing, no? Or is that
You're even speaking with a Scottish accent now?
It's just a Balmain accent.
No, that was probably the cheapest thing I could buy and the quickest thing I could make.
Okay, nice one. Where and what did you study at university?
I studied accountancy over here, actually in Northern Ireland, but not Queen's. Okay. University of Ulster, as it was back in those days.
Nice one. And you're from Scotland originally?
Scotland, yeah.
Yeah. What was it like growing up in Scotland? And what was your
cold, wet, damp, miserable.
Like here?
Yeah, no, so I was like born in England, but don't talk about that too much. Okay. But then raised in Scotland. Okay. But my parents were originally from Northern Ireland. Okay. So like all of our summers, we would have spent a bit of time over here. And so I kind of loved Northern Ireland, and then decided when it was coming time to apply for universities. So I had like Glasgow, Edinburgh, Strathclyde, all those ones, but you had to put in 6. Like you had to pick out 6. Okay. So I thought, right, why not come to Northern Ireland? Queen's course was 4 years. Jordanstown was a 3-year course. And I just wanted to get university out of the way as quick as I could. Yeah. So Jordanstown, I went, right, let's stick it down. That was literally the last one I put down on the form. And they phoned up, because we were so hyper intelligent in Scotland. We were actually finished our education at 17, not 18.
Nice one.
So I'd only turned 17 and I would have been come to university. Okay. And they phoned and said I was too young, but they would defer my place for another year.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
That's what happened. So spent another year in Scotland.
Very good.
Went back to school.
Nice one. And then did you go into accountancy? Did you get a job as an accountant after that?
No, like I never really wanted to do accountancy. So strange. Why did I do it? My dad said like I was going to go to university. That was a non-negotiable. And being a good boy, that's what I said I would do. Then I would go to university. I was always interested in business and finance and that sort of stuff. And kind of like as a kiddie growing up, I would have gone through like company accounts and stuff, and they always had an accountant on the board, and I always aspired to be that guy leading a top 100 company or something. So that's why I ended up doing accountancy, but didn't really want to do it once I finished, but got a degree in it. Yeah. Amazing.
And what? So we chatted earlier. What is your title now? You manage a company?
Yeah. So we've got our own business down in Belfast called Johnston Campbell, and I run that. We staff about 36, and we advise people on what to do with their money, how to invest their money. So. Brilliant. Yeah, that's what I do.
Good, you're chatting about money then, the topic fits.
I'll let everybody make their mind up on that one maybe, yeah.
Were you a Christian when you were at university?
Yes, so I was really privileged, brought up in a Christian home, parents Christians, taken along to church, Sunday mornings, Sunday afternoons, Sunday school, all that, then back out at night. But I guess looking back, I was just kind of going through the motions at that stage. Sunday for me was a really terrible day because we weren't allowed to go out and play. We weren't allowed to listen to music. We weren't allowed to watch TV. It was like really strict kind of upbringing. And then came to university. Probably if I'm honest, it was like, that was the first time I was away from home. So obviously parents in Scotland, I was coming to Northern Ireland and this big bad world that was out there. But I guess there was a defining moment for me actually, which is interesting kind of looking back now. So met a guy, just started university on my course, and we were kind of in the mall in Jordanstown with a whole bunch of people, like first week, freshers week, all of that sort of stuff. And this crowd said to the guy, you know, do you want to come up to the Students' Union? We're going to go out and have a few beers and probably get blocked and all sorts of stuff. And kind of Jonathan just went, no, I'm a Christian. And I didn't know he was a Christian, you know, so I was like, And they asked me, so what about me? And I went, it was one of those moments, like it was a crossroads of, do I go, yes, I'm a Christian, or do I kind of go, nah, I've got a few years where I could live life, or is what I thought maybe. Found myself saying, yeah, I'm a Christian. So I was like, and yeah, that was kind of the start of a friendship with me and Jonathan that kind of, I guess, held each other accountable as we were going through university together. So yeah, you look back on these moments and kind of think God was in all of that, even when I wasn't. I'd made a kind of profession, but it didn't really mean anything to me even at that point.
Yeah.
But, hey.
Brilliant. That's great. And obviously now, having managed a company, God's brought you on a journey.
Yep.
And how's that been since leaving university? You know, in terms of work, in terms of jobs, God's always provided a way. You've always seen His path. Is that something kind of?
Wish it was as easy as that.
Yeah.
I guess I look back on my life. So I was very money orientated for all the wrong reasons. So when I left university, I got a job. I got a really well-paid job. Phenomenal now when I look back. And kind of money ended up being my God at that stage.
Yeah.
And I had a really successful career. We then got married, we moved to England, and I moved around England and ended up sort of in a really senior position within the bank. And my whole life it was just like chasing after the next promotion, more money, more income, all of those sorts of things. And then it kind of came, there was a defining moment again when you look back on life, you kind of see these critical points when it just like all fell apart for me. And I guess from that point it was like, what is life all about? And that was a kind of pivotal moment for me, probably in my faith, and just thinking about what I'd done before that. I think the amazing thing is, again, like I'm old, so I can look back on these things and I can just see, even though I wasn't close to God, God had His hand on me. He had directed my paths, and that's just the amazing thing of grace and mercy and God's love as I look back on it. So yeah, that was sadly for it was like a lot of wasted years probably, because chasing the wrong thing, in essence. Yeah,
that's great. I see you're saying that. Would you have any advice for young Christians now at university, maybe first year, even coming into their final year, looking forward to jobs, maybe getting their student loans? How is a good way? What is a good way to be a steward of your money at university? Have you any tips on that, Ewan, or anything you can speak into that?
I think we'll talk about it kind of next Wednesday, but I think it all starts from your heart. Even when we're talking to clients, we say there's three things you can do with money. You can spend it, you can save it, or you can give it away. And like even now, I struggle with how you get the balance right on that spending, saving, and giving away. But I think how you view those things, particularly the giving away, says a lot about your heart. So advice, back to your question, around those who are there. Number one, make sure you've got really accountable people around you. And I think that's the real thing that I'm excited about, things like home fellowship. Because you guys are creating community for people where people can be real with each other, and where you can be accountable to each other. So number one, I think it's really good to have in-depth relationships with people around about you that hold you to account as to how you're living your life. probably looking back, that's what I was lacking. And secondly, it's just about striking a balance between that, spending it, saving it, giving it away. Because when I see people that have got that out of balance, usually it's because there's something going on in here that's out of balance. So find that balance, but it's a journey. You know, I'm still on that journey. Yeah. It's a horrible word, everybody uses journey, but I struggle with it. Yeah. I struggle with it even now. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you have people holding you accountable? Have you still practice that?
Yeah, no, and that's, I don't have a wide circle of friends because I'm a bit odd. But yeah, I think finding people that you can really be real with and they can track when my life is going off balance. So the best person to be in my life that's accountable at that level is my wife. Yeah. She's amazing. She keeps me on a level ground. She holds me to account for my actions, and she really sees what happens when you come in at night, you close the doors and all of that sort of stuff, and maybe you take the mask and things like that we inevitably sometimes wear. So, you know, she's been a real blessing in my life, amazing woman, and I just, again, look back and just see how she's held me to account, as well as others. But yeah, that's my main accountability.
Brilliant. Do you think the reason why money's maybe not, is there a specific reason why money's maybe not talked about as much in the church? Do you think there's anything there? It's just a tricky
Good question. No, good question. I think because there's been a lot of strange teaching around money. Okay. Money's a little bit of a dirty subject or topic. Yeah. I think even what kind of maybe put me off church and Christian life in the early days was that the people who were seen to be successful, that there was something wrong in that. There's nothing wrong with it, but it gets wrong when there's something wrong in your heart. So the idea of making money and being successful in all of those things, certainly in a lot of churches that I had been part of, that was very much seen as there's something wrong, you know. So I think generally there's that. The flip side of that then is all the kind of prosperity teaching, which is, you know, if you give it away, you'll get so much more back, and if you do this and do that, there's some kind of magic formula to all of those things. So I think the view of money has been kind of corrupted almost in terms of those extremes of it's really bad, or, you know, it's really good, and you should be doing this and this, because if you do, God's going to bless you and you're going to be abundantly prosperous. Yeah. We'll talk about that as well. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's great. If you don't mind me asking, obviously myself, so many people my age, materialism's a big thing. Is that something you're still dealing with, still journeying with yourself? If you don't mind me asking that, is that
absolutely? Yeah, no, another brilliant question. I struggle that every day. Yeah. Really blessed as a family to have so much. Yeah. And like, when is enough, and when is actually you should be doing more. Okay. And yeah, I struggle with it. Yeah. I think I'll always struggle with it. There's something inherent in me that kind of wants more and more and more. Yeah. But you've got to always keep that in check. Yeah. That's good. And I think hopefully I'm learning to keep it in check. Yeah. But I'm certainly not there yet.
Amazing. Thanks for your honesty. That's brilliant. You're coming to speak obviously on the 20th. We're so excited. 20th, 8:30 at Central. So obviously you've said what kind of topics you're going to be approaching on. Is there more there you kind of want to share about what way you're going to approach the idea of surrendering money?
Don't want to give too much away then. Nobody will come then, Cal, is that right? It's interesting as I've been like, number one, I'm hugely excited about it. I'm hugely excited about things like home fellowship, about this next generation coming through and the influence that you can have. And really is on my heart that if I can do anything to be part of that and help that, then I absolutely want to make myself open and available to those things. So I'm like hugely, I think it's a huge privilege to come along, first and foremost, I'll say that. And as I've been thinking about it, it's for me, the guy that I just want to look at a wee bit, maybe more in depth, is Abraham, and just how he dealt with his wealth, which was all about his heart. And his life has really challenged me on several occasions, just about how he dealt with what God had entrusted him with. And I think for me, he's the model that I want to be like. Ultimately, we want to model Christ, but in terms of that sphere. So yeah, I guess we'll just unpack a little bit about why was his heart so different. Why did he have what I call an Abraham heart? Why was he prepared to give it all away? Why did he not hold on to stuff? And you just, as I've been thinking and praying into that, it's just like looking back at the examples where he just had absolute confidence in God. And that's what I want to strive for. I'm not there, but you just want to keep striving towards that. Yeah.
Ewan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry
about the suit.
No.
Sorry about the formality of it all.
That's great. I'm Robert the Champion.
It's like Alan Sugar, you're fired, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah.
But yeah, really appreciate your time today, Ewan. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks again for listening today. And for more information, please check out our Facebook and Instagram. See you soon.